Hello again. I want to do a garden update. This half is what I have left of the original garden. You know from previous videos that I've ripped everything out and redoing it. I'm expanding it, more than doubling my square footage of garden for next year. But anyway, this is what's left of this year's garden. These are my spring squash and zucchini that were doing very poorly for a while, and I had almost pulled them out, and instead I tied them up and pulled off all the dead leaves. They were almost stripped bare. They had maybe a few leaves at the tops, and they were just bare and not doing well at all. But as it turned out, they have re-leafed. They have been blooming. I've already pulled off a couple of squash out of here, and I've got more blooms, and I believe I saw some squash growing earlier today. Ah yes, here they are. So we got a couple more squash. These are little guys right now. I've already pulled two off, and got some more growing down there. And I think I've got one zucchini plant left of the original, and they're blooming and growing again. And then in late August, I had planted new squash and zucchini seeds. Ended up with only one squash plant out of this. The rest of these are zucchini. There's 5 plants, although you really only see 4. There's one that's really little, and underneath I don't know if it's going to produce or not. I've already pulled off 3 rather big zucchinis off of here, and it is still blooming, looking gorgeous, and still growing. We've got some zucchinis growing in here, and some little ones there. And the only squash plant I have, I believe, is this one. It's blooming. I haven't pulled any squash off of this yet, and doesn't look like I have any growing yet. No, this is the squash one next to it, the yellow squash. It's a straight neck, I believe. Anyway, it's growing and doing very well. And then over here is where I have my eggplants. And I don't know if it's the variety, whether it's my soil quality, whether I'm not doing something right. The beginning of the year I bought 4 eggplant Black Beauty, and so far I've gotten 3 fruits off of the 4 plants. It's still blooming. It had flowers, and real pretty purple flowers. What's left of them, they're shriveling up now. And I see I have more eggplant growing. But so far, everything I have harvested off of here has been terribly, terribly bitter. We cannot stand to eat it. It's so bitter. I'll go ahead and let it finish out this season. Next year I will not plant Black Beauty. Come across some Chinese eggplant earlier in the year that just fantastic taste, so I'm going to try those next year. Anyway, in August I planted some cauliflower. The sun's shining. I don't know if you can see them. Anyway, I got some cauliflower growing. It's the middle of September already, so I don't know that I'll actually get a harvest out of these this year. But they are growing and doing well. I planted 4 Brussels sprout plants I've never grown Brussels sprouts before. This is my first time. And I bought 4 plants, transplanted them, and they all grew. And I read in, I forget the exact title of the book. It's something like A to Z Garden Bible or something like that. Anyway, it had said that every couple weeks you come out and you pull the leaves off so that the Brussels can grow. And that's what I have done. And my Brussels will get about pea size. And then they fluff out. I don't know why they're not staying in tight little balls. So if anybody knows anything about that, I'd appreciate it. We got some new Brussels growing on upper stalks. But as you can see, all of these, they're not forming balls. They just keep leafing out. I cannot get a good view of these with the sun. Anyway, I will try again next year. Hopefully between now and then I'll figure out what I'm doing wrong, or figure out what they need to grow correctly. And then I planted 4 broccoli plants, and I didn't get a very big head off of them, but every week we are harvesting side shoots, and it's still putting on side shoots. We have eaten a lot of side shoots, plenty to keep us in stock. There's not been enough to freeze or put back, so next year I will plant more than just the 4. I haven't grown broccoli before, so I only wanted to plant 4, but they're doing well. And then I had planted a whole row of broccoli here for the fall, and I had probably about 16 plants, and I lost them all. I don't know what happened to them, but they're gone. Anyway, let's continue on, and excuse my mess as I'm walking through. These is the garden expansion in progress. Still got a long way to go with them. The tomatoes dried up, quit producing. They were producing tomatoes, but they were having a hard time turning red, and even the full size tomatoes were just the size of my pinky. They were small. And these are the peppers that was planted over in a bed that was over yonder, and I wasn't sure they were going to produce anymore, and I was anxious to continue the expansion, so I dug them up and transplanted them, and they did very well with the transplant. In fact, they seem happier and healthier since then. They act like they never even knew that they got moved. I cut off all the peppers. I left what little blooms was on them, and now those blooms are peppers, and it's still blooming, and we still have blooms on this one. This one's a rather new one, so we haven't gotten any peppers off of this one yet, but it looks like it's getting ready to start producing. And then these 5 were the pepper plants, the bell peppers that I planted early in the spring, and they just never grew. They stayed alive, they just never grew. I transplanted them, and as you can see, they have gone from about 3 inches to 7 to 8 inches now, and putting on leaves, just looking fabulous. So maybe we'll get some crop out of it before the end of the year. And these 2 peppers I had just planted in August, so they're coming up and they're doing okay, slow growing. I planted some new cucumbers. These were planted in August, late August, and as you can see, they are just doing wonderful in these raised beds. And I've got baby cucumbers growing. See if I can get a view of any of them. Well, here's a little baby one. It's in there. There. So we may get some cucumbers before the season's over. And the new okra is coming up, and it's putting on blooms and getting ready to put on some okra, some of them. And then here I have some green beans and some purple hull peas mixed in. Their green beans don't look to be doing so well, but the peas are. And here I've got some more purple hull peas. I thought they were a bush bean. They obviously needed a trellis, so I very quickly built a trellis for them, and they took on to it real quick. So we've got these peas going, and then down here I have some lima beans. They're doing well. They look like they're just about ready to start putting on some beans pretty soon. So, first time I've ever grown beans or peas of any kind, so be interesting to see what happens. And that's pretty much it for the garden right now. In the front yard I have some yellow wax beans that aren't doing all that great, and then I have some burgundy beans that they're growing and doing well. They're not as big as these guys are back here, but they're doing okay. We'll see what happens with them. Anyway, that's it for the garden this time of year. I'll be anxious to show you the garden expansion. You got a good start on it, but we still have a long way to go. These first 5 beds is composted topsoil, rabbit manure, and some peat moss that I mixed in to make some beds. These 2 beds I planted today with some more beans, some golden wax beans, some lima beans, and some green beans. It's so late in the year I don't expect to get any beans, but I'm hoping they grow so that we can get some nitrogen put back into the soil. And these last 5 beds, well, right now it's 2. There's 3 more going in. The one with the Brussels sprouts and broccoli will be shifted over, and then there'll be 2 more beside it. But these 5, I'm filling half full with horse manure, and then topping off with some composted topsoil, and then I'll probably throw some wood chips on for the winter and let them sit, and hopefully by spring they'll be richly soiled and ready to grow some food next year. Anyway, that's what's going on now. You guys have a lovely day, and until next time we speak, keep growing and keep being prepared. Thanks for watching.